Do I have a treat for you guys today? You are going to walk away from this episode like someone lit a fire under your ass in the best possible way. I have as my guest today pro MMA fighter and entrepreneur Eddie Gordon. Now, his story alone is inspirational enough, but he let us into how he wired his brain and mindset to make each and every one of his goals come to life. And guys, like, it is wild, like, how he does this and how it's all come to fruition. What he does when he's feeling like a little down and depressed, like we all do, like how he totally snaps himself out of it. We talked about how he handles the haters, which, like, I don't know how anyone can hate this guy, but there are haters out there. He told us exactly how he handles them, which I'm sure, we can all benefit from handling the haters in a nice way. The healthy rituals that he lives by. We talked everything you might not expect. We talked about vision boards, meditation. We talked about which celebs are the real deal. We got some tea for you guys with that. I don't know. I walked away from this interview feeling I could take over the world, and I hope you guys feel the same. Don't forget, if you love this episode, share it. Please subscribe and rate this podcast so we can bring you more episodes just like this. All right, here we go. Eddie Gordon. All right, so I am here with professional MMA fighter, part-time stud, entrepreneur, Mr. Eddie motherfucking Gordon. So here we are. Eddie, tell me like a little bit of your story. Like, how does one go from child to like pro fighter?
Oh my gosh, my story is crazy. It's a lot different than like most. It sounds unrealistic because it was for me. I literally was in corporate America. So I was doing what everybody else was doing, working 9 to 5. I working at JP Morgan. I went to a private publishing company. Like everybody else who has a 9 to 5, you get tired, you get burnt out.
Where'd you go to school? You went to Fordham?
Good job.
Ah,
good
see, did my research.
Look at that. See? Yep, went to Fordham. Played football there. After I didn't make the NFL, I was like on the practice squad. They wanted me to go to Canada and play like CFL. I was like, listen, no, not for me. Like, that's it. Like, my career's over. Moved on to the corporate world. And got tired, got burnt out. And like most people, when you get tired and burnt out, what do? Go on vacation, right?
Right.
I like to gamble and I like to like sports. So I went to Atlantic City to gamble. Then my mentor and like a whole bunch of guys from the job, we went out to Philadelphia to watch UFC 101. At the time, I was probably like 300 something pounds. I was fat, overweight, out of shape. And
what was your weight when you were playing football?
when I was playing football, I was like 270, 280, but I was like muscular. I was
So
like
it was like
always,
a different, it was a different.
It was
okay.
a different, it was, my mirror broke. So it was, it was a different,
You see what happened
yeah,
was,
what
the
happened
mirror broke, it was a whole thing.
Like, not just mine, every mirror that I was next to.
So weird.
So, it's like weird. But we were there at the arena. We went to UFC 101 to see Anderson Silva fight Forrest Griffin. And I was ringside, I was watching, and I was like, yo, I can do this. And
How old were you?
I was 27.
So this wasn't like something where you were like came out of the womb fighting.
No, it was like... It was
you were a football player, so you're like an athlete. You could like do multiple sports.
Yeah, like I was an athlete. I wrestled. So watching these fights, I'm thinking like wrestling one-on-one, fans there, like, all right. So I'm literally looking at these fights, and I'm like, I can do this shit. And I'm starting, you get a couple of, Red Bull vodkas in you. You start speaking louder and confident.
Oh my God, I know, right?
And I literally told my boy, like, yo, I can do this. He's like, you're drunk. It's the Red Bull and vodkas talking. There's no chance in hell. And I was like, it wasn't the alcohol talking. Like, I had a true belief in myself that I could, like, do anything. And my mentor slash boss at the time was, like, right there. And he was like, yo, you could do this? I'm like, yeah. And I played football with him. And he was like, I'm like, if you think I'm a good football player, I'm a better wrestler. And he's like, bet, let's do it.
And at that point, like, when was the last time you would actually wrestle?
Probably. Let's see. I graduated college 2005, graduated high school 2001. So I was working for like 5 years, 10 plus years that I even put on a singlet wrestle. So that was out of my mind. That was the Red Bull.
That was a Red Bull. Has Red Bull sponsored you? Because if not, they should. Because they sponsor these dreams.
They actually should. I'm going to have to get in touch with some Red Bull.
Yeah, let's call Red Bull.
That might have to happen. And he literally took a shot at me. Like, he literally sponsored me.
Was this all like a drunk plan?
It was straight up. It was straight up drunk plan.
Plans happen
And
drunk.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It probably would have came full circle if like all the stars and like this aligned. Because my good friend Chris Weidman, who I wrestled with in high school,
yeah,
I bumped into him in a synergy gym, and he was just like shooting his shit after I actually saw this fight. And I'm like, hey, what are you doing? He's like, mixed martial arts. Oh, I just went to an event, and literally he's like, yo, come down to my gym that I train at. Come check it out. And he took me under his wing. So if it wasn't for Chris, if it wasn't for my mentor, I would have never like did it.
So it's like
And,
right place, right time, and
like,
Red Bull.
it was
That's the key to success. Right place,
right time, Red Bull.
That's the key.
Yo, they bet you guys got it.
Guys, gold. We're getting gold on this podcast.
This is absolute phenomenal. Like, this is actually pretty phenomenal. And like from that point, like I'm a big believer in like law of attraction, but
Yes.
I'm also like a big believer in like law of attraction is phenomenal, but you have to put action behind it.
We're talking about that in a second.
Oh,
We're coming back to that because I'm big on that.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna blow your mind.
Can't wait.
I like love law of attraction, and I started just training, and then literally I had my first fight in a warehouse, like 5 months after I started training, and I sucked when I first started training. Like a girl literally like beat me up. Like I'm not even nothing against women. Like I'm all for the women and ladies, but like I was like I have to learn this whole art because this mixed martial arts is like everything together.
So like for me, I would have that experience and I'd be like, nope, I'm out. But like what was going through your head? You're like, just got beat by a girl. You didn't have this like runaway reaction. Your reaction was like, no, I'm gonna figure this shit out.
I'm obsessive. And I was like, I want to know what she did, how she did it, and because I was big. I was 300 some pounds, and then I sparred with the guys and got my ass kicked even more. And I was just like, this is awesome.
So you had the opposite reaction of most humans.
Like insane. And when I walked in the gym, of course, the first thing I say is I want to fight. And the head coach, Ray Longo, who's been around world champions, he looked at me like, this fat guy is out of his mind. And like I think he just tested me, just threw me to the wolves. And I just kept on coming back and just working and working. And literally 6 months down the road, I had my first fight in a warehouse as an amateur. Thought I was in the best shape of my life. I'm a Division I football player. I could do this. I was exhausted after like 30 seconds. And just kept on grinding at it. And within, like, I think the first 3 years, which is crazy, I was selected by the UFC to go on a TV show, The Ultimate Fighter. And
wait, how did that happen?
it was complete, like, you got some crazy stories. I was supposed to be on season 17 of The Ultimate Fighter.
Do you apply for that? Do they call you?
It's the craziest interview in the planet. You have to, on your own dime, fly out to Vegas on a whim.
How did you even hear about this? I want to know the whole thing.
So, one of my teammates was on the show. My head coach was on the show.
Your head coach when you played football?
My head coach when I first started fighting. Matt Serra, super popular. He has a bunch of podcasts. He's really cool. Shout out to Matt Serra. He was on the show. He won the show, and he got a chance to fight GSP, who's like the best fighter on the planet. And he knocked him out, shocked the world, biggest underdog in history.
Oh, wow.
And like won the UFC title. And literally, so he was on there, so I always knew about the show. Never in 1,000 years thought I'd be on it. Went to season 17 tryouts. At that point, I was fighting in light heavyweight and heavyweight. The show was 185, which is middleweight, and 205, which is light heavyweight. Never in my life have I ever made 185. When I interviewed for it, like 10,000 fighters all around the world interview. You have to wrestle, punch, kick, and then do like a physical interview with all the UFC bosses, Fox bosses, and you have to step on a scale. When I went to the interview, I was 230 pounds, and they're like, you applied for 185. I'm like, yeah, I'll make 185. They're like, dude, you're big. You don't have much fat to lose. I'm like, if I said it, I could do it. And I went through literally a week and a half of interviews. And like flying out to Vegas, renting a hotel, doing the whole thing.
Wow. And
they said, all right, you made the final cut, did physicals, MRI, EKG, did everything. And then we fly back home, and they're like, we'll give you a call a week before to fly out. Quit my regular job. Did everything.
Wait, you quit your job prior to
going to the show, because I'm like, I'm in. Like,
yo, you burned all the boats.
Burned every single boat.
Damn.
It gets crazy, though. It gets crazier.
This is wild.
Everything, I'm like...
No, wait. I want to get to the psychology of this. So in your own mind, did you hear them say you're on the show?
Straight up, I'm like, if I didn't believe it, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't going to happen.
Dude.
So I was like, that's it. There's no going back.
Confidence.
Literally quit everything. Started training.
Did anyone advise you to be like, hey, perhaps wait till you get a phone call?
No, like anybody told me I was crazy for leaving my first job to start fighting. Like, dude, you're leaving a 401k, you're leaving retirement, security, wearing a suit and tie. And I was fighting for nothing. It was peanuts. I was fortunate for football. I had a following, so people came and supported me. So I made more than the average amateur, but it was a whim. It was just crazy. And after coming home from Vegas, after quitting everything, I'm like waiting for this call. So finally I get the freaking call. So I'm like, yes, that's it. When am I flying out? They're like, we decided to cut the 205 division. We're only going to go 185, and you're really big. You're 230. We don't think you can make 185. We can't risk on you. We spend way too much money on these fighters, and sorry. And I'm just like, I am irate. I'm in tears. I'm heartbroken. I'm pissed. I'm miserable. And that was it. Like a phone call, boom, business. It is what it is. And I was irate. And I'm watching this season show, and I'm like, because it's on now.
Yeah.
And I'm like pissed. Had to go back and get a regular job.
Oh my
I had to
God.
go friggin'. And I got like the most simple jobs. I can actually still train. And my pride would not allow them to tell me I can't do something. So my next fight, I booked my fight around the same time I was supposed to fly out. And it was I booked it at 185. And everybody's like, why are you doing that? I'm like, I want to show these motherfuckers that I can make 185. Straight pride. Long story short, ring of combat. Went down, made weight for 185. My opponent tested positive for hepatitis C or something.
Whoa.
So I can't fight him. And I'm like, I'm not a doctor. I'm like, dude, screw it, I'll fight him.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, you don't want that one.
Yeah,
That's not a good hepatitis.
That's not a good one. And literally, they canceled the fights. I made weight for nothing.
Oh my.
Yeah, so I was,
and you're still like, not like, you're still like, no, this is happening somehow.
somehow it's happening. Long story short, it did happen. I'm pissed. Didn't make it. The show went on. Had the winner, everything. And like literally months later, like 3-4 months later, my teammate, Ally Aquinta, who was actually on the show as well and was a finalist on it, he's like, yo, you see, they got, tough 19. You gonna try out? I'm like, I ain't trying out for that shit. I'll find a way to get in there somehow, some way. And he's like, dude, you gotta try out. Like, this is like a huge opportunity. And literally, I'm like, no, I'm done. He's like, call the producers. I had everybody's numbers. He's like, call the producer. Like, it was worth a shot. I missed the tryouts. Didn't fly out there. And I was like, screw it, just call this lady. I called her. And she's like, oh my gosh, yes, we remember you. Da, da, da. And she's like, can you get out here? I'm like, no, I can't get out here. I got my kids. I got this. I got my job. I'm not quitting.
You should be like, I was fooled once.
Yeah, I was fooled once.
You fooled me once, lady.
I'm like, listen, I can't afford to fly out there. Like, I got too much shit going on. She's like, wait a second, I'll call you back. I'm like, oh, here goes this shit. All right, I'm never going to hear from her again. She literally called me back.
How much longer?
Like, probably like a day.
Oh, wow. That's pretty
call me
fast.
back in a day.
They probably felt bad. They're probably like, this guy really wants it.
Like, it's quick. Call me back in a day, said, you don't have to interview. We remember you. We loved you. You just couldn't make weight. They flew me down, did everything all over again. I'm like, I'm not quitting my job yet. Did everything all over again. And now I'm back in the interview process again. At this time, I was like 210, 205 because I didn't balloon up. I ballooned. My weight is crazy. I was like 205, 206, 205. And they're like, all right, we want you on the show. You got great personality. What weight do you want to fight? 205 or 185? I go, 185.
I would have been like, I'm sorry, what? Like, that's an insulting question at that point.
They say, what weight do you want to fight? I'm like, 185. They're like, dude, we're not cutting 205 this time. We're definitely doing it. I'm like, 185. Like, are you sure? I'm like, 185. They're like, you're 20 pounds. 185. Like, you got to make weight. If you win, you got to make weight 5 times in 7 weeks. 185. And sure as shit, I'm like, damn, that messed up. Because now they do the whole ring, sing and dance again. All right, we'll call you a week before the fight, fly out because they don't want you talking to nobody because you got to sign disclosure agreements. 2 weeks out, I'm like waiting. I'm like, damn, they're going to do this shit to me again. I still got my job. I wasn't stupid this time. And a week before the fight, before the call, I'm sparring to get ready for this fight because you got to act as if.
Yeah. I
kick my teammate on his knee. My bone burst through my toe. Open fracture. My trainer's like calm, cool as a cucumber. He's like, you gotta go to the hospital. I'm like, I'm not going to the hospital. He's like, you gotta go to the hospital. He's like, just let him look at it. If you don't go to the hospital, it's gonna get infected. Da, 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 da. I go to the hospital. I call my doctor, who is my man. Like he's the best. And I go to the hospital. They're like, you got to have surgery. Like your ligaments get torn through the thing. You got to fix it. It's like not a major surgery. I'm like, I ain't doing nothing. Set it. Band-aid it up. I'm like, I have something. I can't do it.
Like a true athlete.
Like it's like a stupid true athlete. And literally, I went on the show with this injury. Didn't tell nobody. I lied to every single commission because they would not clear you. And I pretty much freaking, long story short, made it on the show. Won the whole thing. Got a 6-figure contract.
Get out of here.
And literally changed my life. Never been at a regular job ever again.
Wow.
So it's crazy.
I never knew any of that. That's a really amazing story.
I got sick pictures of half that stuff.
So how old were you at this point?
At that point, when I went on the show, I was 29. I was on, and I know the time frame because law of attraction, right? I'm a big believer in I'm impulsive, but I want to get it done. And I said to myself, if I don't make it to the UFC before I'm 30, that's it. I'm done. I'm done. Like, I'm too old. I started at 27. Guys have been fighting for 10, 15, 20 years before they even get that opportunity. But I'm like, listen, I'm not going to get punched in the head forever. 30 is my goal. If I'm not there at the highest level, 30 years old, then I'm done. That's it. I'm retiring, never again. And I won the UFC fight, the finals in Las Vegas in the Mandalay Bay 2 weeks before my 30th birthday.
Oh my God,
Like,
man.
literally
You
2 weeks. Like,
you do follow law of attraction. I can hear it all day.
dude, my vision board, I had the date, I had the weight, I had everything lined out. I had what I want to do in life, my house, my car, my family, like this.
All right.
Everything.
I need to figure out how you got into this because like the stereotypical UFC, MMA fighter, football player, I'm not picturing you scrapbooking together a vision board. That's not what I would picture. How did you get into, like, were you just like naturally, did you know about this stuff? Did you learn about it? Like, have you always been like this? Like, how did you develop this mindset? That's what I need to know.
It's wild because, I gotta give credit to my coworker. I was in the financial world, and one of the other FAs, financial advisors, they were big on like the law of attraction and like subconscious thinking and mindset because, you gotta deal with a lot of no's. You gotta do a lot of failures. And it's not like, one failure is not, that's it, game over. It's just like one step closer to the next yes. And he was successful as heck, and he always like gave me stuff to read, gave me stuff to like listen to.
Like what kind of stuff? Like for
he
people
gave me
who
like
need
mind
this?
meditation stuff, like Kelly Howe.
Mm-hmm.
So like he's big on subconscious. So he's like, listen to this every night while you sleep. So like it washes out all the BS people told you, like everything. Like,
So Kelly, who else?
Kelly Howe, Wayne Dwyer. Then I started listening Richard Robert Kiyosaki. I'm big on obviously the legend Tony Robbins.
It's my
like
boy.
he's just the man. He's genuinely a good human.
I'm obsessed. I've an obsession with him.
He's like an amazing human.
See him on my desktop.
Oh, you see that? You see? I didn't even peep that. See, but like, and I was like, I got into it like heavy, and then I kind of like what everybody does when you get success, you kind of go away from it, right? So I had a super success, my most financially successful year as a kid, making over 6 figures, just doing ultra successful, and I went away from it. I just stopped listening to it. Make no sense. Stop listening to it. Stop reading.
Wait, I want to hone in on this because that happens and nobody talks like, and that's the problem. Like we see this like curated highlight reel on social media or whatever of like everything's great all the time, but like nobody talks about that. Like when you have success, all of a sudden you like stop doing the things and then it like slips from your fingers and you go down like a rabbit hole sometimes.
Epic fail, epic fall.
So like tell me about
everything.
that.
Like everything from financial, from spiritual to legal, emotional, everything. I was like at this all-time high. I think I bought like 2 houses. I was super successful. And this is before like fighting. And then literally stopped doing everything that got me there. Ended up getting a divorce, getting depressed, getting like everything bad you could possibly think of happened. That's how I ballooned up to like 300 something pounds.
Wow.
Like I just literally just stopped caring about looking this. And I'm a fun-loving, happy-going person, but I was transformed as a human. And
Was it because you were like so disciplined and you were relying on these practices and then you stopped the practices?
To be honest with you, I don't know if it was like...
Was it that you like had a goal and you accomplished it and like you didn't know what was next?
I think that was a big part of it because like when you're young and like I came from nothing. Like my parents weren't like super wealthy.
Where'd you grow up?
I was born in Jamaica.
Really? I didn't know that.
Came when I was 3 years old.
Damn.
Friggin', I had a crazy accent. When I first started school, they thought I was like mentally slow. So they like made me like take these like lower level classes just kind of accent. Had to take like a speech therapist. So when all the other kids went to like enrichment, I would have to go to this lady, Mrs. Lang.
Mrs. Lang, you remember her name? That's amazing.
I remember her name. Like it's crazy. And
Shout out to Mrs. Lang.
Yo, I don't even know how she looks. Like I remember how she looks, but I haven't seen this woman since I was like in like 4th grade.
Oh my
it's
God.
like so crazy. Like if she's out there, Miss Lang, like find me. Like she used to give me this little treat, like crazy, for every T and S that is pronounced properly. Because I used to always like mess up the T's and
What was
S's.
the treat? What was your treat of choice?
It was like this little candy
Like a
skin.
candy?
It was like a weird like caramel. And to this day I like caramel.
Like a Werther's?
Yes.
It was a Werther's.
It was like so wild, and it's crazy. So like. I literally like fell like epic fail, and it's like I snapped out of it. It's like weird. I don't know why. I don't know who. It was like one day I woke up with like, all right, this is not the life I want to live. Like I deserve more. And at that point I didn't go back to like law of attraction, and then I started like fighting, and towards my end of my fighting career, like I started going back on the I'm like, you know what, like why am I not doing like what got me to success? And like it was planted, the seed was planted because I still had belief in myself, and I knew that I could do better. I knew that I shouldn't care what people think. I knew that there was more to like my life.
How did you get yourself out of that? Because I know this is something I've struggled with, and I know this is something a lot of people struggle with. Like, and it all happens at this weird subconscious level. So, like, how did you get yourself out of that kind of hole?
It's crazy. I actually got to give a woman a credit. Like after my divorce, like I got into a relationship with this young lady, and she was younger than me. I never date younger women than me. She was younger than me, and she was like just a happy, positive person. And like when you see like somebody happy, like you almost like want to fall into that energy. Like I'm a big believer in energy now. Like I fed off her energy, and like to this day, like I love her. Like that's like my girl.
Well, Tony Robbins says who you surround yourself with, right?
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. And I like became like a positive person. Like, and it was crazy because I was like in a dark place. Like I'm talking about anything possibly wrong that could possibly happen, like happened. And I was like, listen, I deserve better than this. Like I'm a good person.
Yeah.
And I'm a big mama's boy. Like I love my mom. My mom knows everything about me. Like
That's amazing.
Like everything. My mom was like, I'm a mama's boy. Like I love her to death. And she was like, yo, you made mistakes in life. Like, you made 1 or 2 mistakes. Like, it's okay. Like, you're not a bad person. Like, it happens. And my mistakes are always people-pleasing mistakes. I always, like, wanted to make people happy and did stupid things for people. And it's like, you didn't even get anything from that. Why would you do that? But it was like...
How do you turn that off? Because there's a lot of people-pleasers out there.
You can't. People will tell you can't.
It's because you're a Cancer.
Straight up.
We're Cancers. Like, I do the same shit. I get it.
It's insane. It's like... And you always give people second chances, third chances. Like, I believe in that better good of people. I think, like, I don't, like, know if I believe in, like, evil and this and that. But I believe that people are innately good and things let them go down whatever path they choose.
Yeah.
And I would always give people the benefit of the doubt. Always. And I was just like, you know what?
And being in the public eye, that's had to have fucked you over.
Oh my gosh, that's even crazier. Because then once, I was in the UFC, I was successful. It's so wild, like being on like social media. I could not understand why people had so much like hate. Like when I won the championship,
people have hate for you.
Oh my gosh, it's crazy. When I won the championship,
and like you know this, like he's literally the nicest man. Like that doesn't even make sense to me.
It's it's wild, but they did it off of like not knowing anything,
right?
Because like I'm talking about hate mail, emails, texts, DMs, craziness, and
I would literally curl up into a ball and die.
But the craziest part is that some of my darkest moments, like my rock bottom, like built a foundation that was like rock solid. So like literally, like when it was happening, it affected me. I'll be a liar if I say I didn't think about it, but I wouldn't let it overwhelm me.
How?
So because like,
how do you not internalize that when you're reading that shit?
Yo, it's crazy. Like I almost look and say like they had a bad day, like that person is, and I would kill them with kindness. Like it sounds so corny and cliche, but
do you respond back?
100%.
You respond back to all the haters. I love that. I love that strategy.
Oh, I'm like it. I used to be bad though. I used to respond with anger.
Yeah, that probably doesn't work.
I used to respond with anger, and I was like, you know what? You get more honey. Catch more bees with honey. And I would just be like nice to them. Like people, it's hard for somebody to keep talking shit to you if you're like, listen, no worries, man. You had a bad day. Don't worry. I know you're a good person. They're just like, what? And then it just changes. Huh. And it's like weird.
And now, when you would do that, would you get responses back?
Like, no, it would be like a day or two. Like I would see them start to type and they stop and wouldn't get a response, and then it'll come back. And then literally, like they're like, oh. And the best is like when you start doing podcasts, you start doing this, you start doing that. Like they're just like people will call in and talk and be like, oh my God, you're educated. I didn't think you were educated. Oh my God, you're a nice person. I didn't think you're a nice person. Like it's like weird. Huh. But when I failed, like anytime I would lose a fight or anything, everybody loves you. Like, it's crazy. I get so much, like, loving mail. Oh, my God, you're such an amazing person. You're such a great this. You're such that. This. Like, oh,
really? So when you won, everyone hated, but when you lost, you were, like, the best?
Yeah, but I figured it out, though. With reading and just, like, understanding people's psychology, like, oh, my gosh, I think it's Dale Carnegie. How to, like, influence people.
Yeah, How to Win Friends.
How to Win Friends, yes. And I read that book, and it made so much sense. It was like people, not that they hate you, not that they want to see you do bad, they just want to see you do better than them. So if you're doing something better than them, that irks them. Friends, family, is even worse. They don't want to see you do better than them. They want you to do well, but not better than them. So it's like, wild. So if you're falling, now they feel like, oh, I could be his cheerleader. I could pick him up. I'm gonna win him over. So I'm a big believer in it. I'm like, and now, I don't get too high with highs. I don't get too low with lows. Like I'm talking about from a young age, I was super successful, fell down, got super successful. And I'm just like, you know what? I just want to like live a life of meaning to me.
I love
And
that.
like if I could do that, like everything else is like a bonus.
So do you have to like consciously work on your mental
Every day.
attitude? What do you do? Like what does a day in the life of your mind look like?
I literally started doing a bunch of meditations.
What do you do? Use an app? Like what do you do?
I use this app that one of my clients actually gave me, Calm app.
Yeah,
So
I have
use
that on my phone. I never use it, but I
It's
have
wild, but you know they reel you in though. They want you to pay, but I think it's worth every single penny. Like they give you a bunch of free stuff.
All right, wait. So when I start to meditate, they're like, just close your eyes and like imagine nothing in your mind, and I'm like, no, I like to think. Like, how do you start to meditate?
Like literally, like I like the guided meditation. So like they'll literally like guide you through it. But the best part is like the ones I listen to, they tell you thoughts are gonna come in your head. They're like clouds. They're gonna come in. Don't ignore them. Acknowledge them. Let them pass, and then go back into your breathing. So like that to me is awesome. Like I literally. And it doesn't have to be like 10 hours, 30 hours, yoga, this pose. It could be anything. Like I just close my eyes and just take time. And just like I put on either YouTube and just like if I'm angry, I freaking do guided meditation for anxiety, guided meditation for stress, guided meditation for anger. Like whatever mood I'm in. Like if I'm happy, I do it. But if anybody can take anything from this podcast today, take this. Just try meditating. I was the biggest, that's not gonna work, that's BS, that's bullshit, I didn't believe in it. And I started and it's amazing. But more importantly, when you feel shitty, when you're having a bad day, when somebody tells you they hate you and you literally feel like you don't want to be on this planet, that's the best time to meditate. Because it's easy to meditate when you're like happy, right?
Right.
It's easy when everything's going great. But when shit sucks and you're like having a horrible day, that's when you need meditation like the most. It's not when everything's going great. Like that's the easy time to do it. And I truly, truly, truly believe it. Like I'm living it. And like so you said something that was amazing. Nobody talks about their struggles. Nobody talks about the come up. Like
You do, like on your TikTok, which everyone should follow. By the way,
I agree.
everyone should follow it. But we'll pimp that out. Actually, what is your TikTok?
Truck Gordon. I made it simple.
Truck Gordon. Follow Truck Gordon. So like, because I noticed you do talk about like depression and all of this stuff, which I think is like amazing and beautiful. I love that you talk about that.
It's huge. Like if you just talk about when you're successful, like people have this false security that why am I not successful? These kids like, this guy's like an overnight success, but overnight success usually takes 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years sometimes. And people don't see that stuff. So social media is such a gift and a curse. When people post their social media, they're flossing, they're this, they're that. They're creating, this is the crazy, they're creating a life for people that they don't know, to impress people they don't know, talk about things that they don't have, and people that actually truly know them. No, that's not their car. No, that's not their house. No, that's not their jet. No, that's not their plane. But they're still doing it to get likes, comments, and clout from people that don't know them.
That's wild when you put it that way. That's what it is.
They're trying to impress people that they don't know, that have zero relevance in their life. How scary is that? But the people that are closest to you, that knows that's not your life, you're not giving any energy and thought to. And that's to me is crazy. Like if my house is messy, I'll post a video of a messy house. Like I don't care. Like you can't be perfect. I know that I'm perfectly imperfect, and that's my superpower. That even though the more I care about somebody, the more I care what they think about me. But I don't worry about the fly by night. Like I don't care about the popularity. Like we should get over that as kids. Like of course it's good to get compliments. Of course we want to be wanted. We want to be rewarded. But you can't let that like indulge you. Like every YouTube video I post, like everything I do, every time I do a speech, I go to anywhere, I tell people 10,000 times, like I introduce myself as a father, I introduce myself as a college graduate, and I just so happen to be like a UFC, Ultimate Fighter champion. I so happen to be an entrepreneur, because that doesn't like deter me. The crowd's gonna stop cheering at some point, and you have to have a backup like for your life. And I'm a big believer that it doesn't matter how many fights I win, how many cars I drive, how many homes I own, it's going to truly matter. Like my legacy is going to be about how many lives I can actually impact and be a part of their story. Like if somebody I never meet ends up like watching one of my videos or watching something and they decide that, you know what, I'm fat, I'm out of shape, I want to get healthy, to live longer, to be around my kids more, and then gets a job and turns into a professional athlete or whatever, becomes a big time lawyer. Like if that video like helped that one person, now I'm part of his story.
So that's your intention on social media, is to like positively impact people. You're not trying to like show off your car, your lifestyle, or any of that stuff. And like you could sense that when people are on the social media and they want you to see their car, like it's so transparent.
It's beyond transparent. And I'm like, and if you really truly think about it, when you see people pass away and die, right? COVID, crazy time. We've dealt with so much death. You see funeral cars passing by. Do you ever see a U-Haul like carrying all their material objects behind it?
No,
No,
actually, never.
Like, so like your Bentley, your Rolls Royce, your this, your that.
At my funeral, I want all my stuff parading behind me.
I'm gonna make sure like
That's my only thing.
In 90 years, I'm gonna make sure that they got all your stuff that come on you. But like none of that stuff's coming with us.
No.
It's like and like we work our butts off, but like we don't enjoy life. And you said something. I think we're having some random conversation, and it was like you were at like an event. And someone's like, how the heck do you look so good and you eat that cookie? Like, and you're just like, I'm not going to deprive myself of that cookie. Like, I'm not going to deprive myself of living.
Right.
Like, I want to live. Like, I want to live. I want to have a good time. Like, same thing. Like, I don't want to work forever and just accumulate wealth and not live. Like, that's not life. If that's just working working to support impressing people. Like, I'm not about that.
And again, going back to Mr. Robbins, right? So it's all about contribution, right? So like that's making you a better person, because when you're putting yourself out there, you're helping others, and that's going to like help feed and get your mind stable. Because I feel like sometimes when you get depressed and you get anxiety, for me, I notice when I'm like too focused on myself and in my own head. So like contributing and like doing that kind of stuff, it gets you out of your own head and like helps you like get in a better state of mind.
It's huge. I think it's so huge. I think, and it could be little things too. It could be something as little as like opening a door for somebody. It could be something as simple as stupid as like just giving somebody a compliment. Like people think I'm corny sometimes. Like my friend's like, dude, you're so corny. Like, why you tell that girl she like something? I'm like, dude, you can find something good in everybody.
Yeah, and you probably
like,
made her freaking day.
And it's not gonna take anything from me. Like, right. Oh my god, like if I say something, I genuinely mean it. If I don't say something, I genuinely mean it.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna always know where you stand, where you sit with me, and that's just the way it is. I'm just like, if you could just make somebody's day a little bit better, like why wouldn't you? I'm a big believer in like my own saying. I'm a big believer in like you can smile or you cry. Like that's the options you have. Like I much rather smile. So I could be going through some of the shittiest days of my life, and I'm going to smile. Like I'm gonna fake it till I make it. I'm gonna literally smile until my mind something clicks and tells my body, all right, be happy now. Like shit happens. You have to put an expiration date on your ups, your downs.
Do you do that? Do you put an expiration date on it?
I have to. Like,
and then like how do you? So like okay, so you're having a bit. Walk me through. You wake up, bad mood. What happens? Like walk me through it.
I wake up bad mood, right? I'm big. Like I said, I go meditate for 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever I have. I'm big on running. Most people don't know. I
saw your TikTok. I loved that. I'm gonna actually like link that somehow. Talk about what you said in your TikTok, 'cause that was super relevant to this.
Oh, I don't know. I'm trying to guess now.
You were saying like you were like I run, and as I run, I like say affirmations to myself.
Oh my gosh. So 2 stories. 2 years ago, somebody bet me. I'm like, don't nobody bet me anything. Somebody bet. I hate running. I hate running.
During quarantine?
Athletes.
Ugh.
I'm an athlete and I hate running. And literally one of my friends was like, oh, I read something. I think it was like David Goggins. And he was like, oh, I'm going to run 1 mile every day for the rest of my life. No matter what. If I'm sick, healthy, sick, happy, drunk, hungover, doesn't matter. So literally since 2018 or going into January 1st, I've been running a minimum of a mile every single day. Doesn't matter if it's snowing, rain, hail, sleet. If I run 15 miles
you haven't missed a single day.
I haven't missed a single day. Wow. I was sick probably once or twice. Went on my honeymoon, went to friggin' where'd I go? Oh my god, I went to Mexico somewhere.
No,
where'd I go?
I don't know. Where'd you go?
Oh my god, what's that? What's like a nice place, like a couple's place in Mexico?
Like
Not
Cancun?
No, what's the other one?
Riviera Maya?
No. Oh my gosh.
Acapulco?
No, it starts with A, I think. I'm gonna get
we'll get back to it. Stella, we'll have to figure it out later.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But went there. Drunk, hungover nights, I would literally just run. I would not miss a day.
Wow.
Day morning of my wedding, ran.
The day of your wedding.
Like literally everything. And go back to like my Instagram today. Like I'm a big believer in like when I'm running, I don't want to run, but I do it every single day, and I use it now as like a moment of clarity. Like I'm by myself and I got my headphones on. I'm listening to whether it's an audiobook or certain music for my mood, and I'm just thinking about all my goals, all my dreams, all my aspirations, and saying, how am I going to get there? I got to work for it. And it's like, and I can't just like think about it, like get it going, brewing, and I got to put effort into it. And so many people always talk about what they want, but are they truly willing to do what it takes? Like people look at you, you're young, you're beautiful, you're successful. Oh. And they're like, I want to be like Michelle. But it's like, are you doing the things you do? Nobody sees the crazy hours you spent doing research. Nobody sees the crazy hours you spent in the office. Nobody sees the crazy emails you have to read, the complaints you got to handle, the this, the that, and how it consumes you. They just see you and it's like, I want to be her. But are you willing to do what it takes? And it's so wild. So many people talk a great game, and you can give somebody the blueprint of how to be successful, what to do, and they won't take it. And then they wonder why, and they look for excuses and blame people. But it's like, I could blame somebody every single day. I could find 1,000 reasons every single morning why I can't run. But all I look for is that one reason why I can't. It's less than 10 minutes of my life. Like, you could do anything for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I literally ran like when I thought I was dying. I might have had COVID for all I know. Like, I'm being serious. It was literally February or something.
Oh yeah, you might have.
I never, knock on wood, I never get sick. And I was like just tired. I just didn't feel like me. And that day I ran a 15-minute mile. And the next day I ran a 13-minute mile. And the next day I ran a 12-minute mile. And I just kept on. Some days I felt like I was walking. My head was pounding. I would just do it. And like, all right, boom, I got back to my 7-minute mile. I got back to my 8-minute mile. Like, it was like I got back to my normal. But
now, did that annoy you though when you were at, like, as an athlete? Did that annoy you when you were at like the 15 and 14?
To be honest, like, I feel like I enjoyed the run more.
Interesting.
Like, cause I'm addicted personality. I had to turn off, like, there's like an online coach that tells you how fast you're going. So if you hit a half a mile, 4 minutes, like whatever. So
What app is that?
It's Endomundo. It's friggin' awesome.
Awesome. Endomundo.
Yeah, it's insane. I had to turn off the coach because, like, if I'm just running and thinking, she'll pop up a certain distance, and I'm like, I gotta pick up my pace. And then I'm like running super fast, and like I almost like interrupt my thoughts. So I said, screw this, I don't care. Whatever the pace is, it is. And I'll just cruise. And some days I just run and just look at the skies. Now, if you look at my phone, it's crazy. I got pictures like the sky. I got pictures of like the moon.
What do you think is in MMA fighter Eddie Gordon's phone?
Like,
Kittens, the sky.
It is the weird. That is going to be my next TikTok, and it's going to be inspired by you.
Yes, I can't wait.
That's it. Oh,
you better tag me in it.
I gotta write that down. I'm gonna remember definitely tagging you. Oh my god, that's going down.
That's a really good one, actually.
That's actually really good. What's in my phone? That is so. Oh, that is beautiful. I love that one. And I'm like, I don't even like think about the time anymore. Like, I just run. So some days I look at, oh my god, it's a fast time. Oh my god, it's slow. But it's usually like right around whatever time it is, and I'm like, I don't care. And that's it. Like,
so that's so you meditate, you like do something physical, you get out of your own head, you kind of like focus on like making other people's day, and like that kind of switches it.
It switches it. I'm a big believer in energy. Like, there's a lot of energy vampires out there that's literally trying to suck the life out of you. Like that. Like I've had clients that sucks the life out of you, and I literally, sounds crazy.
That's weird. I've never experienced that before.
Well, we part ways. Like, I find a way. Like, it's just not work. Like, it's because when you're one-on-one with somebody, I don't have to tell you. Like,
I know.
If you sit one-on-one with somebody and they're like a Debbie Downer, and they're just always this negative, like, it draws and just sucks your energy. So I find a way to, like, just respectfully to say it's just not a good fit for you or me. Like, we're just two different people. We were meant to be. We're like seasons.
There's some people that can block that.
I can't. I refuse to. I refuse to, because realistically, I'm not a phony person. I can't be phony. So it's like, I'm going to put on fake on facade, and then what? As soon as they leave, like, I hate that person.
Right. So there's somebody that can help them, but you just recognize that you're not the right fit.
100%. Like, if I don't have good energy, they're not going to get the best results.
Totally. That makes so much sense.
It's like, they're not going to get the best version of me. Like, if I'm in a horrible, crappy mood, I'm not going to be able to motivate them. I'm not going to be able to inspire them. Like, it's just, I'm just stealing their money.
Right.
Like flat out. And I see a lot of that going on.
Oh, I'm sure you do.
I see so much of it going on.
I'm sure.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Oh my gosh, it's so true. Like, that's my pet peeve in life, when people are just doing it for the wrong reason.
Yo, let me tell you something. What I realized with the blue check mark on Instagram, it literally...
Not on TikTok, on Instagram.
Not on TikTok, just Instagram. It brings out the ugliness out of some people.
No way, like, really?
Oh my! If I show you my Instagram inbox, everybody is users. They want you for something. They're
like, hey, be on my podcast.
Like, never that. Like, it's so wild. But, and I'm talking about even other people with blue check marks. Like, it's crazy. Like, I've seen some of the phoniest people, and I would never disrespect them.
Can you like smell it, or like do you?
Oh my gosh! I could show you. I can show you so many. I can show you some funny stuff. Like, people that you'd be like, no way, is that person real?
Oh my god, offline, we're gonna totally do that.
It's gonna blow your mind. It's gonna be like, it's gonna open up a door. Like, you're like, oh my gosh! Like, some of the biggest names, some of the people that preach helping people with this, that, are just not who they are, and it's crazy. It's like disappointing. It's almost like meeting your hero, and your hero's not who they say they are.
Like who? I want to do that too. I want to do that too.
I wouldn't. I couldn't.
Offline, I want to know.
I wouldn't. I can't even do it because
That's wild.
I'll feel bad.
No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that.
Even though they're phony and they're fake, they're helping people.
Yeah, no, totally.
Because like people don't know they're fake. You know, they might be doing it for the wrong reasons, but they're helping somebody get through something. It just sucks because like it ruined my image of them.
Yeah,
and
that's
like,
so disappointing to find out.
Oh, it's crazy, and it's more than you think. But then you meet someone like Tony.
Yeah, I was gonna say, who's like, give me like your top 3 realist people that you met that you were like, so you met them and you were like, oh my god, this person did not disappoint me whatsoever. They exceeded my expectations.
Mike Tyson far exceeded my expectations.
Really?
Mike Tyson.
Wait, tell me. Like, give me 2 minutes on that.
Mike Tyson, dude, phenomenal human being. Like, not the person you expect him to be.
Is it a facade? Is it just like a...
No, it's not a facade. He's just a real dude.
That's awesome. That's so good to hear.
Very real, very authentic, very honest, and very like, he'll tell you, I screwed up so many times. I blew money. I did not know how to have money. I was on the farthest extremist. If I had a lot of money, I had to have all the money in the world. If I was broke, I had to be broke. Like, it was no in between.
Yeah.
And like, he's found his peace, and like, he's comfortable with himself now. And and he'll tell you. So it's like, that's like so powerful. You see the raw emotion like on his podcast.
That's
and
awesome.
And he has the biggest friggin' thickest hands I've ever seen in a human being. Like, it's insane.
Good to know.
Who else? Who else is, Tony Robbins is unreal. Amazing human being. Like, amazing.
I met him once.
He's unreal. Like what you see, like what you get. Like, it's not fake. And like, I know, like, he was going through like some things, like, was it last year or the year before? Like,
oh my god,
with some horrible people like trying to tarnish his name and stuff like. And it's like, it's crazy. Like, people do foolish things like that, but genuine guy. Oh, probably my number one. Have to say Gary V.
You met Gary V.
Gary V reached out to me before.
Did you fangirl out?
No, it was weird because somebody like it was weird because I like just started watching everything and I'm like, this dude curses. He's like encouraging you to be you and like just be real. Like, I don't care. Like, screw it. And
so he's yelling. He's like fuck off. But like, but it's great. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Like, I'll do it.
Like, it's like it was wild because it was before I went on the show. Before I had a blue tick, before I won the championship, before anything.
So you were on his radar before you even had the blue check mark.
Anything.
Oh, that's how you know.
And that's when he was the realest dude. It was all started from a comment. Like, I commented one of his posts, and like this dude responded to my post. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And like, he said some shit like, DM me. I'm like, okay, DM'd him, Like, cause I asked him like a question. He, not only did he respond to the DM, he reached out to me. Then he got me in touch with his assistant. And then like, we built a relationship over that. Like, literally would contact me like all the time. Oh, wow. And then after I freaking like won the show, cause I had to like disappear, like for like 7 weeks, I'm like, and I couldn't tell him like where I went cause I signed like disclosures. Like, I can't really tell you. And he's like, oh yeah, I heard that before.
He gets it.
And then literally like, we've been in contact like ever since. And like I'm like, it's like weird. It's like a relationship. I never met the dude, but like I met him.
But like all 3 of those people, I'm not surprised at all. Like you can sense how genuine they are based on like the content they put out.
Yeah, it's crazy. Oh, I wish I could tell you something about Gary Vee, but I can't talk about it. Oh, it's so wild.
Man, you're doing that to the audience. It's just us. It's just me and you.
I know. It's just us here.
It's just us.
But listen, I'm law of attraction, so I'm putting it out in the universe.
All right.
I am going to work with Gary Vee hopefully sooner rather than later, and it's going to be something epic.
I'm gonna put my law of attraction energy into making that happen for you because that would be. I would love to see you guys together.
It's gonna happen. I'm a big believer. It's gonna happen. So.
That's so exciting. Oh my gosh! All right, so like I want to just leave with like your number one tool or tip or podcast or like resource for like a positive mindset when you need one.
Oh man, this is gonna be weird. It's gonna be cliche. I truly believe there's no right answer for that.
All right, I'll take it.
I truly believe that everybody's different. So the positive mindset is what makes you happy. So there's a center focus. That's the center focus. Like for me,
that's actually a great answer.
Oh wow, so you're making me blush. So it's whatever makes you happy, right? Whatever makes you get you joy, give you butterflies. Do more of it. I'm a big believer that we limit ourselves, and there's always like somebody saying, "Oh, you can't do that. It's bad. Oh, you can't do this. It's bad." Like. There's somebody that's making up. This is bad. This is good. We gotta follow the law. We gotta follow the rules. Like that. It is what it is.
Sure.
But like something if you love doing it, do more of it. Like I don't know what it is. Like I love working out. I never thought I would love running, but I just kept on doing more of it. It was a form of working out. And like, I found like my space, my headspace. And don't be afraid to like try new things. Cause if I was the same person I was 3-4 years ago, I would have never meditated. Like, I thought that it's stupid, it's corny. Like, I'm not gonna sit there and be like that's the farthest thing from the truth.
But
like,
you found value in it.
I found value in it. Like you can meditate in the shower. Like, you close your eyes, the water sounds great. You listen to it. You close your eyes. You think about something that been bothering you. You dissect it. You ask yourself questions. That's meditating.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have to be an hour thing. It doesn't have to be 3 hours, 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 10 minutes. Like, there's meditations as short as a minute.
Yeah, it doesn't do the whole thing with your hands and you're like sitting in a position.
Exactly. Like, you can be sitting, laying, this, whatever. All it is that you just control, you're just focusing, and you're giving yourself time to do something. So, what is it? Basketball, if it's reading a book, whatever it is, do more of it. And it just irks me. When we're kids, we live like for the moment. You talk to a kid, they want to be a dinosaur. They want to be a tree. They want to be an astronaut. They want to be so many different things. Like, it's so powerful. Like, just talk to a kid. Like, be more childish. We always want to grow up. Why do we want to grow up so fast? I don't know about you, but being a kid wasn't that bad. Like,
so all the kids, like,
yeah,
enjoy it.
Enjoy it. And it's like, and it's corny, right? Because we always hear it from all the adults. Don't rush it. Don't rush it.
It's not better over here.
It's not. Like, there's this thing called mortgage and bills, and it's not cool.
No.
And it's like, we, as adults, we need to be more kid-like.
I love that.
We need to be more kid-like. Be happy and just live in the moment. We're so infatuated. I just posted something today because it irked me. Somebody said, I'll do this tomorrow. Like, if I call somebody, I'll do this tomorrow. Tomorrow is that's my biggest pet peeve today.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is my biggest pet peeve. There is no tomorrow. Stop living like there's tomorrow, because guess what? It's not guaranteed.
No.
It's not guaranteed. Every day you wake up with 2 gifts. Both your eyelids when they open. And literally, there is no tomorrow. You have something that is in your heart that you're happy about. Do it today. Do it today. Do it today. Whatever makes you happy, please do it today. Because there's no tomorrow. And you don't know what this life unfolds. Only thing that's guaranteed is, besides taxes, is death.
Yeah.
Like, that's it.
Yeah.
So whatever you want to do it. I don't care. Like,
oh my gosh, I love that.
Don't tell my kids that, though, because they'll be all over the place.
Yeah, we won't tell them that. They'll be like, Dad, you said.
Yeah, it's like, but if they did and they said that to me, I'll be like,
they're like, well, homework doesn't make me happy, so I'm not doing it.
Yeah, listen, I'll go there too. I'll take it one step further. I graduated high school with like a ridiculous GPA. I think like 3.8 or 4 or something. Like,
damn.
It was like something stupid. School always came
Brains
easy.
and beauty, guys.
You're a winner. You're a winner. Like, school came easy to me. Like I didn't have to, as long as I showed up.
You're one of those like annoying people that like never had to work at it. Got it.
If I show up, I'll just retain it. So like, that was like my world. School was all just, I have to get a good grade after this. And then literally, I went to Fordham, graduated with like a crazy GPA. Double major. Like, it just came easy school.
What did you major in?
I double major. I did business finance. I did marketing.
Oh, so you used both of those things on a daily basis.
Which is so crazy. Which is crazy. So I'm like one of the few people that actually do it.
Yeah.
But that being said, like, I went to a really good college. Like, I learned a lot. But college is not for everybody.
No.
Education is not for everybody.
Well, that's Gary Vee's thing. I believe that. Like, I don't use most of the things I used to learn in college.
A lot of my wealthiest friends and mentors dropped out of high school. And they're doing ridiculous. Like, it's not for everybody. And I don't go and tell my kids and preach. I'm like, you have to go to school now because the law says it. And if you don't, Daddy goes to jail.
Correct.
So
we don't want Daddy to go to jail.
Yeah, so like you,
Daddy's got to pay the bills.
Exactly, right? So, you have to go to school. Once you're 18,
we'll figure it out.
Figure it out. Like, do what you want to do. You want to do whatever, go. You want to learn a trade, go for it. You want to start your own company, go for it. Do what you want to do. Do what makes you happy. Because when you're happy and you truly love what you're doing, you never work. You never work. Like it's so corny, but like, you'll go the extra mile. You'll struggle. You'll friggin' eat ramen noodles. You'll do whatever it is it takes if you love what you're doing. Mm-hmm. If you don't, you're like, screw this, I'm going back. If you don't generally have a why, like if you don't truly like love whatever it is, you're never going to be successful at it, because no matter, I don't care what it is, it's going to get hard. There's going to be a point where it's going to be super difficult. It's going to be that breaking point, that tipping point that you got the choice to make. Like, I'm going to give up and quit, or I'm going to keep going. And 9 out of 10 times, like, if you keep going, you're going to hit success, because you run a marathon. It's not hard the first 2 steps. It's like the easiest thing ever. Like, if you took 2 steps, the marathon was over.
Yeah.
Everybody would do it, right?
Yeah.
But when does it get hard? Mile 18, mile 19, where you're like, this is the dumbest thing I ever did in my life. Why am I doing it? And it gets harder and harder. And then you finally, like, get that tipping point, mile 20, oh, it's almost over, 21, it's almost over.
That
Then you get to the
tipping point,
then you
yeah.
get to the finish line, you're like, that was the greatest thing I ever did. And it's like, that is where like bliss is. Like, you just get through the fear, get through the objections, get through the obstacles, and you will be successful.
So
But
like manage your expectations that they're coming and then just like roll with it.
Yes, and that's the thing that goes back to the whole damn Instagram thing. Everybody sees overnight success and expect it to be easy. Like Floyd Mayweather. Like, you might not like him as a person, but if you look at it, he is one of the best boxers on the planet. And he has a saying that drives me crazy. Easy money, easy work. And he's so good at it that he makes people truly believe it. But he's one of the hardest working people on the planet.
So he's trying to psych his competition out.
He might, like, and they're falling for it.
Yeah.
And people are falling for it. Everybody's like, easy money, easy work. And literally, this dude gets up at 2, 3 in the morning and just goes run. He never drinks. He'll go to a club, he'll buy everybody alcohol, and won't even take a sip.
Wow.
Like, he's like one of the hardest workers in the planet. He works out 3, 4, 5, 6 times a day. He's always in shape, doesn't matter. And he's the hardest worker. But people think that, oh, it's easy for him. No, he made it easy because he keeps working. And it's like people believe in that. And he wasn't an overnight success. I remember this guy from when he was like on the undercards. And where it's like his heroes became his like rivals. Like, that's hard work. But he makes everybody think it's easy because we're in this microwave mentality where we want it quick, we want it now, we want it right now. And it's got to be easy. It's got to be a pill that magically makes us just be successful.
Oh, like a pill that would help you lose weight all of a sudden?
Exactly.
Yeah. I get it.
Some days, how scary is it being in this industry, being in the fitness world? How scary is it? Because
it's really scary, actually. It's really scary because our methods make everyone's health deteriorate.
it's insane. And people don't understand that healthy and losing weight is 2 different things.
Yes.
And
Oh my God. I love that you said that. I like bang my head against the wall telling people this.
So crazy. Being a fighter, like, listen, when I'm fighting, I am the most unhealthy person in the planet. I'm gonna make a confession. Like, I love your company. Like, your company,
Thank you.
I could show you my phone and show you how I rave about.
Oh, you're
you
so
don't
sweet.
Even, you don't even understand.
Now you're making me blush.
No, because you guys do it the right way, and it's like the system you guys have in place. I'm not gonna give your system out, but the system that you guys have in place, it intrigued me because. Like, I literally, I pick Danielle's brain, because it's awesome. Like, you show people how to live. It's
Yes.
not a diet, it's a lifestyle.
100%.
And it's like, we have this false hope of, I want to be 110 pounds. Like, me as a fighter, like, I should have never fought 185. I should never fought 170.
In my mind, when you were telling that story, I was like, I know this motherfucker got down to 185, but in my mind, I was like, what did he have to do to get to 185?
Absurd.
I know.
Absurd. Like, absurd. And I got a picture when I'm 170, I look sick. And I'm like, my bone structure, like I did like all your testing and stuff, like, and I'm like, I'm 160 pounds of muscle. I have a skeleton. I have bones. I have skin. I have organs.
All those things weigh something.
And yeah, and I'm fighting 160. Like, that's not even a lot. So I'm burning through muscle. Like, we always want to be this weight, but that's not the ideal healthy weight for us unless you go to nutritionist and find out.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Like, so it's like, find that out and then figure it out. Find out. In like an analogy, find out what you love and then go pursue that. Find out what you're passionate about, then go pursue that. Find out what your muscle and your water and your heart and your organs is, and then go pursue it. Find out your body fat. Find that out before you start deciding where you should be. Because we don't know, especially when we're kids. Like, you don't know. And that is like the best advice I could possibly give.
Obsessed with everything you just said, guys. So many golden nuggets in this one. All right, so how can people work with you? Where can they find you? Pimp yourself out.
Oh, that's it. Here we go. I made it super, super simple and easy. Truck Gordon. Eddie Truck Gordon. You can check me out on Instagram. I think it's Truck Gordon. It's my favorite new obsession, TikTok.
Oh, TikTok is unreal.
It's great.
Love it.
And Gary got me on it.
Of course he did.
He forced me, and I was the best decision I made.
I love that you could say, though, like, how many people could say, I'm on TikTok because my niece and nephew got me on. You are on TikTok because Gary Vee was like, yo, I'm going to reach out to you personally and tell you to be on TikTok. That's amazing.
It was like the best thing I ever did. Like, it truly connects you with people. Like, the algorithm is genius.
Oh my God, it's so good. It's so, like, how does it know? Like, it knows everything about you.
It knows how to keep you on that thing. So if you make sure you be careful what you like. Make sure you like what you want to see.
Yeah, be careful.
Yes, it's like it's amazing. And, you know, I'm big on my foundation. Like, I started the Eddie Chuck Gordon Foundation 6 years ago. Yeah, 6 years. Wow, 6 years. Holy smokes. And I'm a fool because my accountant yelled at me because I never had an event. So I'm going to have an event. So make sure you follow the Eddie Chuck Gordon Foundation to find out what event I'm going to actually host.
Where can they find that?
It's EddieChuckGordon.com.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
Easy.
you know, I made it super easy. And Truck Gordon, man. If you put it in Google, it'll pop up all my social media stuff.
Follow this guy. He is motivational, inspirational. Like, there's so much noise out there in social media. Like, I have unfollowed so many people that just make me feel bad. And he will make you feel good. Like, he will. He'll just make you smile. He'll make you laugh. He'll give you something to think about. Like, your mind only has room for so much, and it's got to be filled with things that make you feel good.
Oh, you're the best.
I love it.
I love it. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Thanks for being here. This was great.
Oh my gosh, listen, it's awesome. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Oh my goodness. So many freaking gems in that podcast. So many great golden nuggets. If you guys liked this, which I hope you did, I hope you guys got a lot out of this episode, please subscribe and don't forget to rate and review 5 stars, just for fun. And check out our next episode of Healthiest with Nutrish Mish. Thanks, guys.